Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? So today we are talking about overcoming your not enough voice. And I know this is something that's a big thing for many of us. So thank you for all your responses and your comments around this topic. So if you're new to me, hello, welcome to the community. My name is Reenak Aiken. I am a deep dive visibility mindset mentor, and I love to work with soulful business owners and creatives so you can unlock your soulful voice and share your wisdom with the world and be the visionary leader you are, because the world needs the wisdom that you have to offer. So this feeling of I'm not enough is one of the top visibility blocks that I've been aware of for some time, and it's certainly one that's come up a lot for me, and it makes a big difference to how I show up and waiting to feel ready. It's particularly strong for women, and it's particularly strong for visionaries who've got a less than conventional message to share. And it's actually endemic in our culture. We have a culture of scarcity and competition where we're comparing ourselves to others, judging ourselves a lot. And it can be hard to step out and be visible inside both an inner voice that's telling you that you're not enough and a fear that other people are going to judge you as well. So it's a strong one that keeps us small, keeps us hidden. And I know so many amazing people who hold themselves back for years because of this voice. It's a real serious visibility block. And I know it affected me. I held back for years from stepping into my leadership. You know, when I was in my career, I just felt like, oh, I'm not that, I'm not good enough. I'm not extroverted. I'm not forceful. I'm not that, big out there, loud and proud person. I'm not good enough to be a leader. And then eventually, when I did step into my leadership, I found that actually a lot of the qualities that I had were really, really needed in workplace, and I could bring some amazing transformation to help so many people. But I had to overcome those fears and step up, and yes, it was a learning curve, and I wasn't always perfect, but it's not this voice, can show up as perfectionism, but actually there is no such thing as perfect leader. Perfection is an illusion that keeps us small. So it's about learning to hold space for these voices, and that's what I want to speak to you about today. Because your voice is needed. So tell me in the comments, how does your hi Jackie, let me just see the comment. Hi Susan, and hi Roslyn. Yay, I can see comments. It's great to see you guys here today. So beautiful. So tell me, how does your not enough voice show up, and what do you think it stops you from doing that you most feel called to do? So the first thing I want to talk about is, what's the core emotion underneath the not enough voice. And I'm going to talk about how we shift, one powerful shift that we can do. And then I'm going to talk about a daily habit practice that you can adopt that really shifts this as well. So the core emotion, let me just see if we've got any comments. Not yet. There is a bit of a delay on this way of live streaming, so I'll come back and check your comments in a minute. So the core emotion underneath this not enough voice is shame. And so shame is a feeling and a belief of I am not enough. I am not good enough. Who I am is not worthy. So guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am something bad. And the core fear of shame is not belonging. So there's a really, really deep, this goes super deep. It's so, as a deep fear of being rejected by our tribe, our community, our loved ones. And what keeps shame in place is silence, because if I if I tell anyone what I feel ashamed of, I'm going to be rejected. And going back in our prehistory, that could meant that I'm not going to survive without a community. I'm not going to survive. And even then, there's what people do in prison is they put people in solitary confinement. It's the worst punishment. So we are social creatures. So this fear of not belonging is really, really strong. So we avoid this feeling. We avoid feeling our shame at all costs. And it's not even something we talk about a lot. I know Brené Brown, if you know her, she talks beautifully about this. And she's saying if she's on a flight and doesn't want to speak to somebody and say, what do you do? She's, I'm a shame researcher. It's a conversation killer. So many people call her up and say, oh, we want you to come and talk to you. Don't talk about shame. She's like, well, that's what I do. So it's something that's really hard. And one of the ways that we get through this is by actually turning towards the feeling of shame that comes up underneath this not good enough voice, not enough voice. And and I want to give you some to ground this in some examples today to keep it really practical. So some of the behaviors that show up, because when we have a belief, I'm not enough, what tends to happen with all of our limiting beliefs, and this is where I work very deeply, with my clients, is to identify the core beliefs and how they're showing up inside those beliefs. So for not enough, some of the common behavior patterns of I believe I'm not enough, so I behave in which I overcommit, I overgive, and I'm unrealistic in my planning. So when I take on an impossible to-do list, and I've been very good at this, that just reinforces the belief that I'm not enough and the shame that I'm not enough and I can never get it all done. Of course I can't. It's impossible, because the belief is setting me up to fail. It's actually setting me up to reinforce itself and saying, say, I told you so. So that's how it works. So I really want to focus in on that particular pattern of not enough, of over planning and over giving today. So I'm a creative. I like to wing it. I really like to create new things, and I'm not always good at getting the boring stuff done. I'm like, do I have to do this completion stuff? So, and I've created a lot of success in my life by winging it. But particularly when I was started running my own business, I needed to prioritize my own tasks, and there wasn't a roadmap, there wasn't a structure. There's so many ways. I love the creativity of having all the choices, but oh my God, how do I choose what it is that I need to prioritize? So, and I've tried everything. I was a CEO for 5 years. I had insane to-do lists there. I've tried notebooks, apps, bits of paper, diaries, and I just ended up getting allergic to them all. And when over a year ago, I really needed to force myself to get clear on my business priorities and follow through on what I said I was going to do, which meant planning. And so, I engaged with an amazing person who I'm going to introduce you to next week, who had a great way of doing this that really works for me. But I still had to face my shame. I still had to turn and face the resistance to doing this. And underneath that resistance was this shame that I'm not enough. And it was a really dense, hard feeling to turn and shave before I found a way that works for me. So tell me, how is this for you? How do your not enough patterns show up in your life, and how do you manage it? So so Susan Laura is saying, I'm feeling the shame. Yes, we're going to move through that today. Susan, we won't leave you there. Rosalind, anxiety. Great, thank you for sharing that. We're really going to engage with the anxiety today. So that's the next thing we're going to do. So because the second step is shifting from anxiety into this really powerful question that can really help you. So to face shame, what often happens, what the mistake that we make when we face the shame or we face the anxiety is we just disappear into the feeling, and it just feels painful and it doesn't shift, and it's not good. So I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to just feel the feeling without being able to hold space for the feeling. So the first step is to face these deep, dark feelings from our powerful, loving adult self. So how do you do that? So just take a moment here and breathe your energy deeper into your body so we can have an experience of this. Just breathe down into your heart, breathing your energy down into your belly, down into your hips, and just anchoring yourself right down into your legs and your feet, and just shaking off any of those thoughts or feelings and just landing here into presence, into a deeper space. Beautiful. And now imagine a time when you are in your life and you really feel in your flow. So that could be, it could be walking in nature. It could be doing something creative. It could be meditating. It could be who you are as a parent, who you are in your work when you're helping others. So just bring to mind that feeling of, this is me in my flow, feeling confident and showing up for others in loving ways. So if you were with a loved one, a friend, a child, how would you show up with them? What energy would you bring? This powerful, loving self who shows up powerfully for others. Really inhabit that part of you in your body now. And bring to mind, when you really feel that's anchored, bring to mind what is the one area in the moment, in this part of your life, where you're feeling some anxiety about something specific, something that's coming up for you right now. It might be around your planning, something you want to do or stretch into, something you feel, oh, I'm not doing that, but I really want to do it. So what is that for you? I really want to launch this program. I really want to show up differently. Just get really specific on this. And as you bring this loving self, just shift this anxiety of, I don't know how to do this, to, I wonder how I can do this. And just shifting that question from I don't know how, or I want to I wonder how I can, and just feeling the energy of curiosity. You don't need to know the answer, you're just in curiosity. I wonder how I can engage this task. I wonder how I can shift this way of being. I wonder, and just really let yourself dance in curiosity. I wonder how. It's a really powerful question to reframe. I don't know how, or I want to, and it's not going anywhere, to I wonder. So just let that settle, see what opens up for you, and post in the chat if there's anything that you noticed from shifting from I don't know, this energy of lack, there's not enough, I'm not good enough, to I wonder. I'm really curious. What are the possibilities? So you're shifting from the energy of lack into the energy of possibility. So for me, when I came to doing my planning for my business, and I just kept overloading my to-do lists. And so I got really curious, and I was held in a space of possibility by this brilliant guest that I'm going to bring on for you next week as well, saying, and together we're kind of going, I wonder how I could do that, because I would plan my to-do list and it would just be crazy and too long. And so what came to me, what opened up is like, rather than planning it at the end of the day, when I'm looking back and noticing the things I didn't do, let me plan it at the beginning of the day when I've just come out of my morning routine and my meditation and I'm feeling inspired, and I'm in a much better space to feel what's realistic and what isn't. So that was the simple shift that I did from when I planned my list to doing it in a space where I most feel aligned and alive. And that changed everything. It absolutely changed everything. So this is a really powerful question to be able to open up possibility. So let me see if there are any comments here. I'm not seeing any new comments, but as I say, there's a little bit of a delay on this stream. So let me know how it's going. So, and then the third step here is around this. This step is around, because a lot of the not enough feeling comes from this taking on too much. So what I found really helpful is to plan my priorities daily. And I do this in the morning when I'm most, clear in my thinking, when I'm most available to feel what's aligned and what isn't. So whatever is a good time for you as well. But this is the daily habit that disrupts this feeling of never being enough, is to get clear on your priorities and really focus in on those things. So that's planning your year, planning your one thing a month is what I really recommend if you're doing something new. Planning your week and planning your day, but doing it in a way that feels really aligned for you, where you're not doing it in a way that overloads and reinforces the old belief. And my guest next week, who will be coming on to do an interview next Tuesday for this during this live, is Louise Miller, and she's an amazing business mentor who helps people do really calm, loving, slow productivity. And she is an amazing disruptor of the not enough voice in all the work that she does. And she loves to work with creative, spiritual visionaries like us, because we're the perfect people for her. And she brings her really calm, slow focus to helping us. So I would love to see how you get on with her tips next week. So we'll keep going into this even deeper next week. So have you got any questions around this? What was your experience when you shifted from that shame and anxiety into I wonder? I would love to hear from you. So put your questions in and your comments. Let me see. I'm not seeing any new comments coming through. So I just wanted to mention that this visibility block of I'm not enough is one of the top 3 visibility blocks that really stop us from, as visionaries, as women, from stepping forward and into our greater visibility. And if you want to know what the others are and learn a little bit more about the different ways this shows up, I've got a very short but very packed full of value guide called the Visibility Breakthrough Blueprint, and I've posted the link in the comments, but you can get it at renochakin.com/blueprint. So let me know how you get on with that, what your insights are, what your questions are, and have a great week.